Austin Zamhariri. He's with Texas Cannabis Collective. We invited him on because he has really been trying to up his social media game, keeping people engaged in a fun way, but also a professionally fun way, if that is like something that we could call it. So I know we're running a little short on time, so I'm not going to talk about you too much. I'll let you talk about you, Austin. I'm going to go ahead and showcase your video so that everyone can see you, and you are good. Take it away, my friend.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, Jax. Thank you so much for putting this all together. We understand that this are difficult times, and normally on a day like this, me specifically, I'm doing some kind of activism work. I've been in the past done stuff with DFW NORML, and I'm really just honored to be a part of this panel that you have going. So many fantastic speakers, and I'm truly honored. So thank you. Really, my focus is to help people understand how to build their voice through the construct and apparatus of social media, and that anybody, and Jax, I know you can speak to this as well, that there is still room in the movement here in Texas for people's voices to be heard, and that people are very much capable of starting now to go in and effectively engage an audience and build a following. When I first started the Texas Cannabis Collective, it was me back in 2000, late 2015, early 2016, very interested in opening up cannabis because that was the industry I really wanted to work in after traveling to Colorado. And so really I built it as my own adventure into cannabis reform to try to shape and mold our laws so that we all had equal access to safe consumable products, and also a well-regulated and lightly taxed industry that we could all engage in and can fairly compete against each other in. And so this was back in 2016, and when I showed up, I thought that everything was already established, and that there wasn't I didn't know if there would be room to grow. But no, I found out very quickly that the voices that are needed locally as well as at the Capitol are it's great. We need more people to be heard and to speak to the leaders in their communities, and we need people to continue to converge at the Capitol every legislative session. Um, Back in 2016, 2017, during that legislative session, I thought, oh man, we're very, very close. And after my first taste down in Austin at the Capitol, I realized, wow, Texas is a long game, and it's a marathon in Texas. You don't have 100 years of prohibition in this state, and that just doesn't flip, with a dime. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of individuals. It takes a lot of people in their own communities. And we 29, almost 29 million people strong in this state, spread out across, thousands and thousands of miles. And so it's very important for people to have their perspective, their unique perspectives heard locally and at the state and national level as well. And so I know that when I first started, one of the big things that I did was I did all my research as to what was going on in the state, who were the important people. This is where I came, and then I found you, Jax, and Heather Fazio, and other influential players from across the state who had already long been doing work at the Capitol and laying kind of the groundwork for others like me to come on and be able to make a difference and have their voice heard. And so I use that to I used our social media content to really focus on what was happening across the state with all of these different local organizations, and what we were doing at the Capitol and what was happening off session. I like to bridge a lot of industry and talk about what's happening. Obviously now with the new hemp bill that was passed, there's just so much that's happening with the regulations that were passed, and now that licenses are being distributed, and you're starting to see actual local farmers prepping to put seeds, real cannabis strains in the ground. And it's absolutely incredible. It's very fulfilling to see all of the hard work that we've done culminate into a legitimate industry. And I know for myself and for other leaders in reform, um, we continue along the path because we're not done yet, and we still have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of foundation built under a Texas hemp program, under the Texas Compassionate Use Program, which is our medical marijuana program here, or medical cannabis program in Texas. And so I just encourage everybody to continue to facilitate conversation, get online. If you have social media content, use that effectively, engage your audience, educate them about the facts about what's happening here in the state and nationally, and just speak loud and don't be afraid. I stood before 14 legislators and let them know that I use medical marijuana to help my ailments. And I'm still going. So if I can do it, I know that anybody can do it.
Well, we've definitely come a long way, Austin, from where we've been. Before we turn it over to Matt Giles, the musical act, I just wanted to say that I've been doing some sort of activism about marijuana since 2005. And I remember my first visit, going in with a constituent and helping them through their visit. And it was also for my representative. And I remember them being laughed at. And that is not the case anymore. People take this very seriously. It's a campaign issue. It's an important legislative issue. And I think that we can thoughtfully continue to curate quality content like you do through Texas Cannabis Collective and like we do at Texas NORML to make sure that people know what's going on, going to reputable sources and making sure that people are clear on what is truly happening. And I also wanted to point out, you said use voice. So I dropped in the comments. I keep looking this way about the comments because I have a whole nother computer screen over here. But we have a virtual meeting for crafting patient testimony. So, that is going to be our next big thing to help get people ready for the legislative session. So I wanted to see your shirt. What's on your shirt?
In honor of one of my favorite Texas NORML events, I had to go with a little puff and putt.
Heck yeah.
Action. I was looking forward to it. And, God bless, unfortunately, the COVID-19 situation has really kind of steamrolled everything. But, my heart's still there. I support you guys, and I can't wait to get things going again so we can prepare for 2021.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And